All right, here we go. 614 Graphics late model stock series ready to go Wednesday night. Jesse Gordon on the pole here. You see him sitting there in that sun drop capsule with time a 10 machine. On the outside of him, Josh Divers, Team Chaos into 57 tonight. Right behind him, it'll pop up on your screen. There's going to be Chris Jones in that Sofa King Fast Sim Sports number 3 spot. Brandon Parks, owner and operator of Next Level Racers into 4. Billy Van Meter into 5 tonight for Chaos, the owner and operator of Chaos Motorsports. Anthony Monroe going to bring his machine to life here tonight in that Black Magic Studio Broken Axle 82 machine in the 6th spot. Rick Kelly saw the fireworks last week. We'll see if he can rebound tonight in that 7th spot. And Michael McDonald, not the race he won in last week at Stafford. We'll see if the Michigan boy from Chaos in the 16, Mr. Big Mac, can rebound tonight at the Bullring. All right. Drivers are on the track. Looks like they're getting themselves, getting them final adjustments in. They got to really get these cars fine detailed. Take a look at some info tonight for the race. Look at that. 78 degrees. 0 chance of rain, partly cloudy, and 2-mile-an-hour wind. That's what we like to see. Big thanks again to 614 Graphics for being the title sponsor of Late Model Stock Series. Make sure you guys check out 614 Graphics for any awesome custom needs. Awesome gifts over there, too, man. They got a lot of cool items over there. So, all right, with that being said, Jesse Gordon going to set this field up here tonight, and we'll get these boys racing here at Las Vegas in the Bullring. Divers on the outside of him, Chris Jones there, and Brandon Parks in that 2nd row. We'll put the gaps up on the screen. We'll go P1 to green, and we'll get these guys off and racing here tonight. All right, 100 laps, Jesse Gordon, Divers, like I said, last week's winner in Stafford. We'll see if he can rebound tonight and keep that momentum running here in the entire season. It's a long season, but it's 100 laps tonight in the 614 Graphics Late Model Stock Series. Jesse Gordon going to be ready to go here. Waiting for that green flag, and there it is. Jesse Gordon waited, and it's out. We're racing at the Bullring. Going to go into turn number 1. Gordon there. Divers on the high side of him. Back to back there. You see the 54 on the inside of the 9. That's Chris Jones duking it out back there. They got 100 laps here, so no reason to lean on me too much right now. You see the 54 and the 9 kind of laying out there. That 9 is not Chase Elliott. That's Brandon Parks, and he comes down in there. And Chris Jones now going to take the brunt end of that stick there, and he'll try to get looped back around. Jesse Gordon, Divers, Brandon Parks, Anthony Monroe right there with him. Rick Kelly, McDonald's, and Chris Jones gets turned back around. He's rolling the right way. Up front, big hit right there. Caution out on the speedway. That's going to be a caution out on the speedway. Let's turn them around here.
That's my fault, Jeff.
Let's take a look here at what we got going on here. Bring it back right here. We didn't get a chance to go all the way around here. That's going to be on Divers for that one. And let's take a look here while we had a hot second here. Find out what happened with Chris Jones in the 9 here. So take a look here. It looks like just some good racing right here. A little bit of net code with that one. So up front, Divers, EOL.
Yeah, I didn't expect that checkup. That's my fault.
Josh Divers right there with a big checkup into the back of him. He'll take the EOL and fall to the tail infield there. Drivers will regather themselves up. Brandon Parks, Van Meter, and the boys all going to move up there. Divers going to the tail after that incident. Him and Gordon tangled up early here. Divers, we talked about it. That's 1 EOL. You only get 2, and then you get the trailer, and you don't want to see that after taking a big win last week at Stafford. You don't want to have a did not finish in the column here tonight. Rick Kelly going to go into the pits here, grab some service. Gordon going to come in also. Why not fill up, right? It's a caution. Take every bit you can get. So driver's going to come down right now and grab some of that good fuel there. Brandon Parks. And that number 9, 40th anniversary Hooters machine going to stay up front here. So we're going to do some pacing here. We got some guys in the pits here grabbing some stuff. And Van Meter in that 2 spot there. And Anthony Monroe slides that Black Magic Studio right up to the 3 spot. Big Mac McDonald back there to 4. Chris Jones, good to see him out here after that incident there with the net code and the 9. And it got a little crazy back there, but he was able to get that thing looped back around, and it didn't take too long for the caution to come right back out for him there. So, but up front here, we're going to go green, lights off the pace car, and we're going to fire them back off here. Here we go. Brandon Parks, Van Meter, front row. Remember, in this series, all starts and restarts are on green. Do the best you can. I know it ain't going to be perfect, but try to make it as close as you can. Good luck. All right. Brandon Parks and Van Meter front row here. Let's see what these guys can do. Brandon Parks in that 9 Hooters. Van Meter in the 23. Circle City Raceway machine. Here we go. Green flag out. Good looking start there from Van Meter. And you don't mess around with the outside blender. And you see it right there. Van Meter to the high side. Brandon Parks to the low. And Anthony Monroe now back up here in the mix. And it's a good time to use that brake pedal. As you'll see these drivers in the back right now trying to work their way up. 9 of 100 in the books here. Big Mac McDonald falling back to the 5 spot. But he'll move up. Chris Jones to the 4. Anthony Monroe now in the top 3. Billy Van Meter, your race leader here tonight. McDonald, there's divers Rick Kelly and Gordon. Gordon right now in the back struggling. Got Rick Kelly on the outside there. Rick Kelly now to the inside. Gordon going to try to find a line to make it work around Rick here. Right now, it's the struggle train. It's hard to pass back here. And Rick can go up the track, and Gordon's going to go back to the bottom side here. Make the pass down low. 11 of the 100 in the books here. Back up front, Billy Van Meter in the 23-year leader, up 4 spots from where he qualified. Brandon Parks, Anthony Monroe in the top 3. There's Chris Jones after that earlier incident. Rebound nicely. He's into 4. Big Mac McDonald into 5. Divers into 6. Gordon right there just got past Rick Kelly. Rick Kelly struggling tonight in that number 8 spot. 12 of 100. Brandon Parks tags the wall there. Brandon Parks hard into the wall there. Van Meter stretching that lead out right now as you see Anthony Monroe now trying to get battled here on the outside. Chris Jones doing the battle cry down low in the 54. And he'll make the pass. Chris Jones now in the top 3. 14 of 100 in the books here. 614 Graphics Late Model Stock Series. Every Wednesday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. McDonald now to the 5. Your big mover is Billy Van Meter in the lead right now, up 4 spots. Watching the battle right there, and you see Bill. No problem for the Ford Mustang 23. Circle City Raceway on the front of that thing. Looking good tonight. Brandon Parks, Next Level Racers. Hooters 9 machine looking good. There's Chris Jones out of Australia in the 3 spot in that 54. Anthony Monroe closing the gap there, but he's got to look in his rear view mirror, and you got McDonald right behind him. 17 of the 100 right now, and Big Mac's closing the gap here. We've seen it last week. He was racing hard and strong, got involved in the apron incident there, and kind of cost him his race near the end there. So Big Mac now to the 5. Divers to the 6. He's just got to watch that chop line right there. You see it, Anthony Monroe running a real thin line up on the high side also. So both drivers in the contact made right there. 16 in the 82. Josh Divers right up to the back bumper of his teammate. That 57 and 16 going at it. We got 100 laps here tonight. Billy Van Meter leading all of them right now with 29.59 I rating for Billy Van Meter, your leader. Brandon Parks right behind him. Brandon Parks sitting on a 3.858 I rating. So very, very strong field of cars here tonight. Anthony Monroe, though, he's trying to hold off Big Mac. Big Mac's going to look to go to the inside there. Nothing there yet. Contact made there, and he'll let him know, hey, I'm down low right now. So the 16's going to charge his way up to the front there. Anthony Monroe up to the high side. And we'll see what happens here as the battle pursues as Chris Jones now makes the pass on Brandon Parks there. Chris Jones now to the 2 spot, Parks to the 3. Big Mac trying to close that gap also. They're coming in hot right now. Josh Divers working his back bumper, that 82 machine of Anthony Monroe. As we're closing in a quarter of the way to go here at the Bullring. Billy Van Meter, Chris Jones, Brandon Parks, and McDonald. Anthony Monroe still holding on to that top 5 right now. Everybody has to check up a lot right now. That 9 machine struggling. That's Brandon Parks. Trying to find some grip. The 82 working that high side. Josh Divers doing a magnificent job working that bottom there for him. Anthony Monroe right now struggling with tire wear, it looks like. Trying to find some grip. Back up to the front. You'll see it right now. McDonald trying to close the gap on the 9. He'll take advantage of it. Divers looking to go with him there. Billy Van Meter still your race leader, not missing anything up front from him. Anthony Monroe now back here. He's got Jesse Gordon right on his tail. Billy Van Meter, your leader. Chris Jones in the 2. McDonald in the 3. There's Divers in the 4. Brandon Parks and Monroe round out your top 6. Jesse Gordon in the 7. $30 of the 100 in the books. Rick Kelly back there in the 8 spot. Jesse Gordon right up to the back bumper, the 82. That's Anthony Monroe, the Black Magic Studios. Broken axle machine there, but up front, Billy Van Meter, no problem for him. Smooth sailing up front. Chris Jones into 2, McDonald into 3, and there's Divers in the 4. As you saw the hard blink from him there, he disappeared for a second. Brandon Parks, Anthony Monroe, Jesse Gordon, and Rick Kelly back here battling for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Billy Van Meter, your leader. Smooth sailing for him. Chris Jones in the 2, McDonald in the 3. Divers right there with him, and then the battle begins back here with Parks, Monroe, Gordon, and Rick Kelly. Let's jump inside the cockpit with Jesse Gordon, take a look from his view. Riding with Anthony Monroe. Right up with Anthony Monroe right there as he was trying to close the gap on the 9 machine. 36 of the 100 in the books here. Billy Van Meter, no problem up front for the 23. Got himself almost a 2.5 second gap between him and Chris Jones. Back in the back there, battle pursues as we got one looped around there. That's Anthony Monroe. Anthony Monroe, touched the apron, got himself looped around there. He'll get it spun back out and try to get back looped around. We're still green flag here. Billy Van Meter, your leader. Chris Jones, McDonald, Divers, Brandon Parks, Gordon, Rick Kelly, and Anthony Monroe. Yeah, Anthony Monroe got down there on that apron and just lost it right there. We'll bring up that instant replay brought to you by 614Graphics. Take a look at this, folks. Just got down there on that stuff and just looped it around. So tough break. You hate to see it. But we're back to racing action here. Billy Van Meter, Chris Jones, McDonald, Divers, Gordon, Rick Kelly, and Brandon Parks right now. Parks struggling here as we're closing in the halfway in the 614Graphics Late Model Stock Series. Michael McDonald in that 3 spot. Struggled last week at Stafford. Rebound nicely here tonight. Divers, last week's race winner, in the 4 spot here tonight. Not even in the podium right now. We'll see if he closes that gap. Chaos would love nothing more than a 1, 2, 3 tonight. And right now, they got 3 cars in the top 4. 42 of the 100 right now. Chris Jones hanging on to that 2 spot. Battle brewing right there. McDonald looking to go something on the bottom line there, and he'll make it work there. That's 16 of McDonald. Chaos down to the bottom side right there. That's Josh Divers looking to make it right now. So with that pass, it will go Chaos 1, 2, 3 at the moment. Chris Jones now to the 4, Divers to the 3, Big Mac to the 2, and Billy Van Meter still your race leader. 45 of the 100 right now. Gordon back in that 5 spot. Rick Kelly in the 6, Brandon Parks in the 7, and Anthony Monroe. After that incident there with the apron, he'll fall back to the 8 spot. 2 spots back from where he qualified. But right now, there's your big mover, the Big Mac from the 16. From Chaos Motorsports, that's Michael McDonald. Up 6 spots here tonight so far. So your big mover right there. Big loss last week, but a huge rebound tonight. Diver's still fighting his way up there right now. And, Divers can, let him know, hey, man, I took care of it last week. Let me try to get up here and get something going here with Bill right now. And you see the 57 working it underneath the 16, but the 16 is going to give space to Chris Jones also. And he'll try to close that gap there. And that was dangerous on the 16. About came down on the nose of the 54. We've seen how that played out last week between him and Kephart. Not very good for the 16, so. But no incident there. He's able to keep it clean. I know you want to get down as quick as you can, especially after letting a teammate go by. We closing in. Billy Van Meter's going to come to the halfway marker here. 50 of the 100 in the books here so far. Josh Divers in that 2 spot. McDonald in the 3. Chris Jones in that number 4. And Gordon now closing in on the 5 spot here as we'll take a look. Billy Van Meter, no problem up front for him. Nice and easy laps here for the man in the 23 out of Indianapolis, Indiana. Circle City Raceway on the front of that thing. As you see, Anthony Monroe going to come in short pit. Anthony Monroe in the 82 Black Magic Studio. Broken Axle 82. Going to come in and do a little short pit action there. We'll see Anthony Monroe in the pits here. Billy Van Meter, Divers, and McDonald. Chris Jones trying to hold on some tires here. He's in the 4 spot. Jesse Gordon, Rick Kelly, and Brandon Parks. Parks with a great qualifier up back 3 spots right now from where he started the night. Your biggest loser right now would be Jesse Gordon. He's back 4 spots from where he started. So he did go in a pit. So he's going to have to work his way back up through the field. Billy Van Meter, no problem. Still the man out front and lead about every lap he can once he got out there. Divers, best friend there in the 2 spot. Big Mac in the 3. Chaos, 1, 2, 3 right now. Chris Jones, Gordon, Rick Kelly. Brandon Parks coming down in the pits here in that 40th anniversary Hooters number 9 machine. So Brandon Parks in the pits here at the Bullring. Billy Van Meter leading about everything you can do here in that 23. Josh Divers into 2. McDonald into 3. There's Chris Jones trying to close the gap, but Josh Divers and Billy Van Meter, the race tonight. As they will have to pit at least once, I'm sure. That's going to change the thing, especially green flag pit stops. Chris Jones, Gordon, Rick Kelly, and Anthony Monroe. Brandon Parks with some fresh tires here, and he'll look to go to the inside here. Anthony Monroe with some freshies also, but right up to the back bumper, Brandon Parks. Look to try to pass him on the high side here. Both drivers 2 laps down tonight here at the Bullring. Billy Van Meter, your leader. Divers still in the 2. McDonald in the 3. Chris Jones closing that gap a little bit. Gordon, Rick Kelly. And there is Anthony Monroe and Brandon Parks. Trying to find that shutter line here. Parks will look dip to the inside here, I'm sure. Gets a good run out of 3 and 4, I'll tell you that. 61 of the 100 in the books here. 614Graphics. Late model stock series, folks. Parks will get a good run there. He'll look to the bottom side of the 82, and you see your leaders coming in the pits here. Chris Jones, is now in the pits. Chris Jones coming in to get some service done to that 54. Right behind him, Jesse Gordon's going to slide on in also in the Sun Drop number 10 machine. Billy Van Meter, though, he's going to stay out and put those guys a lap down here. Billy Van Meter keeping them out here. Josh Divers with him, Big Mac McDonald, Rick Kelly staying out also, but Gordon Jones in the pits. Brandon Parks and Anthony Monroe already pitted, so short pits from those 2 guys. But we'll see when the Billy Van Meter here is going to have to come in and pit. Looking good so far, though. We'll see if we can keep it going. Just putting everybody a lap down here so far. He's got Jesse Gordon in his sights here. Big Mac McDonald had to come in and pit. And Billy Van Meter's going to come in that 23 machine. And he'll come down pit road here. So Billy Van Meter, your race leader, now in the pits. Josh Divers right there with him in the pits. These other guys are going to try to shoot to get their lap back here. So Rick Kelly staying out there as he went in a little bit earlier too. So Brandon Parks looked to dip to the inside of him. Brandon Parks to the bottom side. Rick Kelly to the high side. Gordon same way. Brandon Parks, Anthony Monroe, and Chris Jones right back out here. 67 of the 100. Your new race leader, the 32 of Rick Kelly. Rick Kelly leading some laps here tonight at the Bullring. Billy Van Meter going to be in that 2 spot, but 1 lap down right now. Rick Kelly has lapped the entire field. And Rick Kelly's going to bring that 32 down the pit road here. And Rick Kelly snagged him a couple laps, led there. Good stuff from him. Billy Van Meter, go back to your race leader. Gordon's going to be in that 2 spot now after the pit cycles have went through. Diver's still going to be a lap down. He'll go back to the lead lap. Everybody back on the lead lap all the way back to Parks and Monroe. They were 2 laps down. So Rick Kelly. Parks back on the lead lap, and it looks like Monroe and Jones also. So everybody cycled themselves back up to the lead lap. Good looking stuff right there, as that was getting crazy for a minute for everybody. Chris Jones looks to peek the nose underneath the 82, and the 82 sees him there, and we'll see how Chris Jones works that bottom, and it looks good so far. Chris Jones going to take that spot. 70 of the 100 in the books here. Billy Van Meter coming up and getting ready to do some lapping here, but he's got Gordon right behind him. Divers in the 3. McDonald in the 4. So Gordon with that pitting, pretty smart move from the 10 machine here. That Sun Drop Capsule with Time LLC number 10 machine looking good so far. Billy Van Meter going to have his hands full here with some lap traffic, but these guys in front of him, they'll give him the space, I'm sure, here. We'll see. 82 will probably go to the high side, give the 23 the bottom here, and going to make him check up just a little bit for it there. So Billy will go to the bottom. And there you go. Anthony Monroe giving him tons of room there. Your leader, no problem getting past him. Next victim going to be Chris Jones. Gordon looking for the same thing here once he gets caught up. Divers, McDonald, Rick Kelly, Brandon Parks, and Chris Jones. Anthony Monroe also. Billy Van Meter, 26 laps to go for the 23 machine. Gordon into 2, Divers into 3, Big Mac into 4, Rick Kelly moved up a couple spots there. He's down to the 5 spot, Brandon Parks to the 6, Chris Jones, and Anthony Monroe. All 8 cars that started the race are still in the race. Unbelievable. With 25 laps to go here at the Bullring. It's been a fun race all night long. Great battles across the board as Billy Van Meter looks to get a victim here. Took Monroe a lap down. He'll look to do the same. Billy Van Meter, your race leader. Gordon into 2. Divers into 3. Mike Donald in the 4 spot. Right now, Rick Kelly, he's back there in that 5 spot. There's Brandon Parks, Chris Jones, and Anthony Monroe. 22 laps left to go here. Billy Van Meter closing that gap on Chris Jones. Gordon right there with him. Divers into 3. McDonald, Rick, Parks, and Chris Jones. Chris Jones going to make him work for it here. We know that. I mean, Chris Jones is a tough competitor. He's not just going to lay over here. So he knows that Bill's quick. But Chris Jones is quick too. Chris Jones, 19 laps to go. And lap traffic playing a role here for the 23 machine. All that horsepower and nowhere to gallop. That gap is shrinking. You watch those times up there, Van Meter and Gordon. Van Meter messing around with this lap traffic here. He's letting Gordon close that gap from under 3 seconds now. Brandon Parks looking to go underneath the 32 of Rick Kelly, still battling right there. They got a race within a race right here. Rick Kelly looking to go underneath the 32. Billy's like, I'm coming through, let me go. 15 laps to go here. Billy Van Meter driving that thing through traffic like it's nobody's business tonight. Another lap victim. Gonna put a lap car all the way down to Parks right now, working on Parks. Parks the last car on the lead lap, and that's the 5th place car here. Billy Van Meter working his way up through this field tonight. Up 4 spots from where he qualified. Right now, Billy Van Meter looking to go underneath the number 9 machine, the 40th anniversary Hooters. That's Brandon Parks. Billy's going to hold that thing down there, and he'll keep it straight and narrow, and then you have it. 12 to go. Billy Van Meter lapped all the way up to McDonald here, so I don't know if he'll quite catch him, but there's Divers, McDonald, and Parks right there. But good battle back here. Chris Jones and Brandon Parks. Rick Kelly and Anthony Monroe rounds out your top 8 tonight. 11 laps to go here at the Bullring. Billy Van Meter, your race leader. Gordon into 2 and Divers into 3. Billy Van Meter, no problem for him tonight in that 23 machine. Smooth sailing. Gordon in that 2 spot. And Josh Divers looking at a podium. Big win last week at Stafford. Rebounded nicely here tonight for a P3. And McDonald, much better rebound here tonight if he can keep it clean here. The next 9 laps, a big improvement from last week. So, good to have Brandon Parks out here running strong tonight in the number 9 machine. Chris Jones right there with him on the inside. Rick Kelly and Anthony Monroe in the top 8. Six laps to go. Billy Van Meter, your leader. Gordon still in the 2. Divers, McDonald, Chris Jones, and Brandon Parks. Best battle on the track right there, the 54 and the 9. 5 laps to go here at the Bullring. Week number 2 just about in the books here for the 614Graphics late model stock series here. Week 3 next week. We'll see what these boys can do. But tonight it was a smooth race here at the Bullring. 1 caution early. We kept it green and clean here with 4 laps to go. Billy Van Meter, your race leader in the 23 out of Indianapolis, Indiana, has got 3 laps to go here at the Bullring to wrap up. What a night he's had. Gordon, same thing. Involved in that incident from Divers smacking him, but he finishes 1 spot ahead of him here tonight if it stays true in the P2 spot. Divers into 3. McDonald into 4, Chris Jones into 5, Brandon Parks, Rick Kelly, and Anthony Monroe round out your top 8. As Billy Van Meter is going to bring that 23 around to the white flag one more time around the Bullring tonight. Billy Van Meter working it around here, trying to finish up week number 2 strong here, man. Good looking stuff from the 23 all night long. Kept them tires rolling. Needed to be where he was at, and that's where it's going to be. Billy Van Meter takes week 2 at the Bullring. Jesse Gordon's going to bring it home into P2, and Josh Divers rounds out your top 3. Unofficial results left of the screen. Good work, top 3. Van Meter, Gordon, Divers. You know what to do. Good run, boys. All right, 614Graphics late model stock series week number 2 in the books. Your 3rd place driver, Joshua Divers. For Team Chaos, Jesse Gordon in that Sun Drop number 10 machine, the capsule with time, working that thing. And there's Billy Van Meter with the Circle City Raceway sticker right on the front of that hood there in the race winner. Good looking stuff there. We'll start off with our third place driver here tonight. All right, here we go. We'll start off third place driver out here tonight. Josh Divers in the 57 for Chaos Motorsports. You got a copy?
Yeah, man.
Hey, what a race. That was fun to watch. There were some hiccups there early, but we rebounded nicely, ran about 93 laps, green flag. The pit stops were great to watch, and you found yourself P3 tonight. Break down your run.
Yeah, man. Knew I had a fast car tonight. We come out there, we started second, and I tried to tuck in behind Jets, and I was just going to try to run in behind him, but then he kind of checked up a little bit more than I thought. So that's my fault there. I didn't mean to do that. And then we was able to get start in the back, work our way up through the pack, and get those green flag stops through. And he had a better stop than I did, and I just couldn't track him down, man. But hey, I'll take a third.
Hey, that's what it's about, consistency as this season goes along. You know what I mean? You won last week at Stafford, P3 here tonight. Podiums is where you want to be, especially if you're trying to wrap up a championship. Great run again here tonight in the P3 at the Bullring. Divers, who's them sponsors you want to thank?
Yeah, man, I'd like to thank you for putting it on. Chaos Motorsports, Circle City Raceway, 614Graphics, all them guys.
Absolutely. There you have it. Josh Divers, P3 here tonight in the 614Graphics. Late models at the Bullring. Went over now to our second place driver in that number 10 machine, Jesse Gordon out of California. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got this.
Hey, good run there. We saw the battle there early in this one. Got tapped there by Divers. You're able to rebound nicely. Getting in the back. 100-lap race. You had some time to work your way up to the field. Pit strategy played a role here. P2 tonight. Break down your race.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good race. Yeah, I know Divers didn't mean to do that, but I definitely I did check up to the middle to kind of get a more straighter run off. I was trying to get kind of a line to where I'd save my tires and just kind of run the thing out. So, but yeah, it all worked out. I had some wheel damage that I didn't fix when I came in on the first pit stop, and then I ran all those green flags with my alignment off. So I definitely wasn't as fast. It was hard to pass, hard to catch, and everybody. So I knew the pit strategy was going to play a role, and I figured if I pit early, I'd gain some time on the guys. And I was looking for at least the top three. So I was happy with third, but I ended up second. So definitely a good race, and congrats Van Meter, and good job, Divers.
Absolutely. Job well done, and congrats again on the P2 here tonight, week number 2. And who's some great sponsors you want to thank tonight, Gordon?
Thank everybody for coming out, racing. Thank you for putting on the show, and all my sponsors, Capital Time LLC, Peachy Fan Salon, Amsoil, Curtis Tires, State Stretching, United Window Tint, and Empire Motorsports.
Awesome work. There you have it. Jesse Gordon, P2 here tonight. Went over down to our race winner out of Indianapolis, Indiana, in the 23, the owner and operator of Chaos Motorsports. Some call him the #1 driver for the team. Billy Van Meter, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
A great race up 4 spots from where you guys qualified. You jumped out early after that caution there, and you never looked back. Pit strategy played a good role for you there. Saved in tires. Break down your race for us.
Yeah, quite honestly, when Jones bounced off the 9 and he spun and gave me a 4X, I was a little worried I got damage from that. And then Jets wrecked. I hit the wall, knocked the wheels out of alignment, never fixed it. But I don't think it affected me much, and just kept digging and pitted with my team. Josh tried to run her down on me on pit road, and he must have messed up on the actual pit road because I gapped him, and then he lost the spot and everything. So it was a good race, clean. Everyone tried really hard with cars. These cars are a lot of fun. Low power, but a lot of fun.
Well, absolutely. We can see the front end damage there on the car, and it looks brutal. So great job again. Congrats on the big win tonight. And who's them great sponsors you want to thank tonight, Bill?
Vanor Development, Circle City Raceway, Edco Welding. Can you put it on, buddy?
Absolutely. There you have it. Billy Van Meter, your race winner, week number 2 of the 614Graphics Late Model Stock Series. Gordon rounds out the 2, and Josh Divers takes it home into 3 tonight. Great work.